In the last video, we discussed what you should do when you have a frozen shoulder. I told you to keep the shoulder joint mobility, you have to bend forward. Okay, that's nice. But there's one thing I didn't tell you, which is what you should do to avoid a frozen shoulder, which is even more important. There are 3 daily life situations to which I would like to draw your attention. I often see them alone or in combination in people who have this pathology, especially when the supraspinatus is involved together with its tendon. Situation number 1 is, when you have heavy loads with your arm hanging down. Think of your shopping bags, for example. Yeah. Well, there you have 2 solutions. Either you reduce the weight or you reduce the carrying time. Reducing the weight is, take several shopping bags instead of one. We all go with one heavy one and the keys in the other hand. Well, always go shopping with an even number of shopping bags, 2, 4, 6, so that you always come back from the car holding the bags 2 by 2. Reducing the distance is, typically if you need to travel for long, you might be considering wheeled devices. I have a small suitcase on a wheel, for example, for the job, because I really walk many kilometers with my stuff, computer and and I don't want to be carrying all that. So situation number 1 is the load hanging down your arm. Situation number 2 is when your elbow is spread to the side. Okay, your elbow is spread to the side. Well, this is in particular for office workers when the mouse is too far away. Okay, there are 2 reasons why the mouse can be too far away. One reason is you have bad habits, you let the mouse glide away from where it should be. The other reason is the size of your keyboard. Yeah, that's why I use a compact keyboard without any numeric keypad. Now, if you need the numeric keypad, that is not a great option. Basically, when I was living in the Netherlands, I had some kind of a review of mouse versus keyboard and things, and I came to the conclusion that using the mouse was 6 to 8 times as risky as using the keyboard. Why? Well, because the mouse is always to the side, so your elbow is a bit spread aside. That's called elbow abduction. And the other reason is that, again, there's a duration problem. When I work, I'm on the mouse waiting for something to happen. I will never be on the B key, say, waiting for something to happen. So keyboard users are not only with their elbow much less to the side, but they have their elbow loose for a longer period, whilst mouse users have it to the side and it stays there. You will observe, though, that if you have a normal keyboard, as usually you're centered with respect to the spacebar, right-hand users are disadvantaged compared to left-hand users, because the left extremity of the keyboard is slightly closer than the right extremity of the keyboard. So here, in this situation, my advice is, okay, number 1, don't let your mouse run too far aside. Advice number 2 is learn how to use the keyboard more than the mouse. In other words, learn keyboard shortcuts. You will see that with less than 10 keyboards, you can probably get rid of 50 to 60% of the mouse actions. Give you a simple example. Instead of using the scroll wheel, use page up, page down, you see, or the arrow keys or anything. Advice number 3 is, if you can have a second mouse, that is on the left of the keyboard, from time to time you can train with your left hand, especially for actions which are not precise, which do not require, to really put the cursor on a small icon or something, for, not precise tasks. So this is the story of having your elbow to the side. Comes situation number 3. Situation number 3 is you will also overload this area and participate in creating a frozen shoulder when you lean on your elbow. You see, when you lean on your elbow, I exaggerate a bit, but imagine that your humerus, so this bone, comes jack up there against the AC joint, and this basically will compress the tendon of the supraspinatus and it can lead to tendinitis. When you're on your elbow, there are also two reasons. It's always two reasons. One reason is that you're on your elbow because you're not somewhere else. If you would be strongly supported in your lumbar support, you would not need your arms to sit well. Therefore, there's a question of ergonomics. What chair do you have? Does it have a good lumbar support? Is it well adjusted? Do you use it well? If you sit well on a properly adjusted chair, you don't need to lean on your elbow in any sort of way. The second issue is, again, the issue of the duration. Even on my good chair here, if I sit there for, say, 2 hours in a row or so, well, I will end up being tired and I will end up here. I will be tired in my back muscles, but I will also be visually tired, and by doing that, I kind of shorten the distance to my screen. You know, it's some kind of laziness. Therefore, remember that both for this reason and to spare your lower back, you should stand up every 30 minutes at least. I mean, every 25 minutes would be even better. So you really need to stand up often. Therefore, if I summarize these three reasons, one is more your daily life, especially shopping and things. Limit the load that hang down your arm. Reason number two is avoid everything which is elbow abduction. We have this sometimes in fitness users also. So, you know, if you do the rowing, you can row like this. Well, that is not too good. Well, neither for your elbows nor for your shoulders. You could row like that also. So it has something to do with the inclination of your hands. And point number three is everything which goes like that. And when you need to support your weight on your elbow, it's a sign that you're not sitting well or supported well in your lower back. These are the three situations that you have to monitor to drastically reduce the risk of freezing your shoulder.